right, y'all. So let's keep track and see what happens with this.
Okay.
Class action lawsuit against Wells Fargo gets support from former San Francisco mayor and civil rights attorney. Now, you heard about this, right? Mm-mm. Ben Crump was on TV talking about this class action lawsuit.
With the Wells Fargo?
Mm-hmm. Civil rights attorney Benjamin Crump joins the fight against San Francisco-based Wells Fargo. Now, we got to remember, this is San Francisco, okay? Wells Fargo as allegations against the nation's largest mortgage lender grow. A class action lawsuit is accusing Wells Fargo of racism for denying mortgage loans to non-white applicants. And we know this is true because we heard an attorney, we won't mention her name, that told us that this is true.
No, it was another group. It wasn't Wells Fargo.
But they suing somebody else, NAACP.
Should I say the other group that they found some issues with?
No, if she told you not to.
No, they never said not to. But I
think
it was in the law. I think it was in the news.
You sure?
It was the insurance company.
If it's not in the news, don't say nothing.
I think it's in the news.
Oh, well, go ahead then.
State Farm.
Okay.
State Farm has had some issues.
So former Sam, now watch. Somebody say that wasn't in the it don't matter.
Well, State Farm.
I'm at the NAACP in Chicago, and that wasn't
or not. They've had concerns like
this. And
it's
not like we got a lot of people watching. How many we got? All right.
You'd be surprised.
Former San Francisco Mayor Willie Brown also joined the fight Wednesday. I told him I am going to sue you. I don't know how I am going to do it, and said choked up plaintiff Aaron Braxton, remembering what he told a Wells Fargo representative. I am going to sue you because I know I'm not the only one. It ended up being a class action lawsuit.
A lot of these companies, that's one of the things the documentary was that I told you about to watch as far as Black in this country and to be an American. There's a systemic.
Oh, systemic. Okay.
Is that the word?
Okay.
Racism within companies and organizations when it comes to people of color.
Right.
Yeah.
Braxton is one of the named plaintiffs in the class action lawsuit against Wells Fargo. Braxton says he was one of many who wanted to refinance their homes during the early stages of the pandemic, but instead Braxton was given the runaround. Braxton, the other plaintiffs, and the attorney say they were discriminated against, citing a Bloomberg News report as evidence. Black people in particular were trying to refinance their home, and they were being approved at a rate of 47%. Other banks were approving Black Americans for refinance during the early stages of the pandemic, and 2020 at a rate of 71%, said lead attorney Dennis Ellis. White Americans at Wells Fargo were being approved for loans at a rate of 72%. And so there was this dynamic where Black Americans who are attempting to refinance their homes to lower interest rates were being denied at record rates. And that was concerning.
Yeah.
Ellis says more than 750,000 customers may have similar experiences.
That's a lot of people. And the sad thing about it is this written in their policy to do this to people of color? How do they know as a worker there to give her 20, give her 70?
Oh.
Where's that coming from? Do they have their little meetings on the side? Is this written somewhere? Can HR go and say, what y'all doing? You just talk amongst yourselves to say, if she's a Black family, give her a lower percentage. I'm curious. That just bugs me.
We are here on this day, the 69th anniversary of Brown versus the Board of Education, the civil rights case in the 20th century, Crump said. Now we're fighting the 21st century civil rights struggle.
We're still fighting.
Ellis says case management conference before a judge is set for May 25th. Isn't that crazy?
We've come, how many years? And we're still fighting. And this is hidden. Remember I told you the news thing that showed the families, Black families purchasing homes and refinancing their homes, and they would have problems. And then the one Black couple, they knew a white couple, they used them to do the deal for them.
Oh, yeah, so they can get in the house.
Well,
of course, Wells Fargo says, in a statement to ABC 7 News, San Francisco-based Wells Fargo said, We are confident that we follow relevant government-sponsored enterprise guidelines in our decision making and that our underwriting practices are consistently applied regardless of a customer's race or ethnicity. These allegations against Wells Fargo stand in stark contrast to the company's significant and long-term commitment to closing the minority home ownership gap. Mm-hmm. Now, you know, TD Jakes was on The Breakfast Club, and he just entered in a deal with Wells Fargo. And they are giving him, I can't remember the amount.
What is the deal
about? It was like $1 billion or something.
For what, though?
To put into communities and build businesses, the actual buildings, the breaking ground of the buildings. Mm-hmm. So,
what kind of businesses? Like what Wells
Fargo
Fargo
businesses, black businesses.
Okay.
So, Charlemagne asked him, what does he think about them, the lawsuit? You know, about along those lines. Well, you know, about Wells Fargo being racist and stuff. And he said that's something that's separate to deal with. Mm-hmm. He just know he gonna take that money and put it into the community.
What's meant for evil, God meant for good.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. I don't care what your purpose is. Mm-hmm. You could be throwing money to him because you like, y'all, we don't want this pure racist. I'm gonna take your money and I'm gonna put it in the community and I'm gonna build the black community. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Now, as far as you being sued, that don't got nothing to do with me. Mm-hmm. But I'm gonna take your money.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. And do good with it because I'm a man of God. And a man that hears from God.
Now, see, some stupid black people wouldn't.
I don't want nothing to do with them.
Right?
They just messed up.
I ain't taking no money from no racist.
This is a good story because it does make you think. Okay, there's other companies that are doing some unethical things.
Thank you.
And then, too, people probably saying they're trying to cover up their mess.
Okay.
That's why they're giving it to this well-known black minister.
Thank you.
So they can show people, we're not racist here. We help everyone.
And I'm going to take your $1 billion and I'm going to put it into the black community and I'm going to build businesses. Mm-hmm. Now, you and your lawsuit that you got going on don't have nothing to do with me.
But it just hurts me again how some of these corporations, these companies, where is this written for these workers to do these to these families? I don't understand that.
All right.
Go ahead.
All right, Jay Moran. Ja. I keep calling him Jay.
Not Ja. Jay.
It's Ja.
Okay.